Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. The sudden and tragic death of Gopinath Munde has shaken the government, the BJP and Maharashtra politics. Munde was a critical figure for all three, and the void he leaves behind is not just painful but very difficult to fill. Earlier today, Gopinath Munde's body lay in honour at the BJP office in Delhi. In the afternoon, it was flown to Mumbai. Tomorrow, the funeral will take place in his village, Beed in Maharashtra. With me to look back on the life and achievements of Gopinath Munde are BJP National Executive Member Seshadri Chari, the well-known senior journalist Kumar Ketkar, senior columnist and commentator Siddharth Bhatia, and the resident editor of The Hindu in Mumbai, Amit Barua. Seshadri Chari, a huge loss for the BJP, not just a critical senior cabinet minister in Delhi, but the virtual face of your party in Maharashtra.
But a truly grassroots leader. Gopinath Munde belonged to what they call in Maharashtra the Bhatka Vimukta Jati, the Banjaras, like the Banjaras. So he came up from that. He came up from a very poor family. He stayed in the RSS office in Pune and studied there. And then he became a leader. He was the leader in the Marathwada movement at that time. And through the Marathwada movement, he became a big leader along with his childhood friend Pramod Mahajan. And then during emergency, again he went to jail. He protested against emergency. And then he was in his college days also, he was a very big leader of the college union. So he has had this kind of a very large canvas to work. And the two, especially coming from this kind of a background. And he was truly a leader of the masses.
Kumar Ketkar, along with Pramod Mahajan, his brother-in-law, Gopinath Munde virtually built the BJP in Maharashtra. He was its youngest ever president in 1986, and then he took it last month to 23 seats, more than it's ever got. How badly will he be missed by the BJP?
Very badly would be missed, and I totally agree with Seshadri Chari that he actually was not a big celebrity political leader, a well-known political leader in 1992 to 1994. I met him in Pramod Mahajan's house in Chembur for the first time soon after Rath Yatra and before the ruckus began. But in 1994-95, he started what is known now as Sangharsha Yatra. At that time it was titled Sangharsha Yatra. It was against corruption. I mean, we talk so much about Anna Hazare movement, Kejriwal's movement against corruption, but when Gopinath Munde started anti-corruption movement in Maharashtra, Sangharsha Yatra, in 94-95, neither Munde was a celebrity and there were no private TV channels, so he could not become a celebrity. But I remember I travelled with him to Akola. How hard he worked to campaign against corruption at that time. There was no Sonia Gandhi even on the horizon. There was Sharad Pawar as Chief Minister in Maharashtra. And without Gopinath Munde's massive movement across Maharashtra, almost single-handedly, it was impossible that the BJP Sena government would come in 1995. It was all his very, very hard work, legwork. And I think that began to shape him as a mass leader. He was already a mass leader, as Seshadri Chari explained, but that shaped him into Maharashtra-wide mass leader, and his caste had, because the earlier Brahminical face of BJP or Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh or Jan Sangh, which had begun to change after Babasaheb Devras became a more inclusive Sangha leader, Gopinath Munde fitted the bill perfectly to Devras' definition of mass leader. And incidentally, Gopinath Munde never I have heard him, I have been knowing him for more than 20 years, I have never heard him talking any fanatic language, any chauvinistic language, even any religious fundamentalist quotations. He always, in Beed constituency where he was elected, has a large, huge Muslim constituency, and in that constituency with Muslim people, he had excellent connection with all castes. I think he was perhaps the only BJP leader in Maharashtra who could include, who could connect with all castes, all classes and all religions.
You know, Siddharth Bhatia, alongside people like Vilas Rao Deshmukh and his own brother-in-law Pramod Mahajan, Gopinath Munde has been described by some as representing what they call the post-Pawar generation in Maharashtra. And now all three have gone. Is there a real sense in which his death represents the end of an era?
Well, definitely. In fact, it's more than an end of an era. It's also the kind of if I won't say a body blow, but certainly a very major blow to the BJP Shiv Sena, which is closest, if ever it ever has been in the last 15 years, to grabbing power from the Congress NCP combined. And the Congress Shiv Sena, the BJP Shiv Sena relationship is a very delicate level at this moment. They are trying to renegotiate. The BJP wants to renegotiate its seating arrangements with the Shiv Sena because it puts them at a handicap. And now the BJP is thinking is that having won more seats in the Lok Sabha election, they should get more seats in the assembly election. That's going to be quite a delicate task, and I think Munde was very, very poised to manage that. In fact, I would say, I don't know what my other co-panelists will say, that he was the closest to possibly becoming the Chief Minister of Maharashtra if and when the Shiv Sena BJP would have won in the next election. Also, don't forget, the entire region and Maharashtra politics has been dominated by Marathas and Brahmins. To have an OBC rise to this level and now to a union minister level was quite something.
You know, Amit Barua, let's concentrate a little bit on the style of this man, because so much of Gopinath Munde was in fact the way he did things, his simple, unstated manner, his, as Mr. Ketkar pointed out, complete absence of fanaticism in his language. It said that he knew every inch of Maharashtra, that he'd virtually toured that state both by bus and by bike. That no one in the BJP knew Maharashtra the way he did. Would you agree with that assessment?
Well, I think, absolutely. I mean, from it's clear that he is a person who has made a connect, and he took the BJP into the rural areas, built a constituency which was different from what, something which Siddharth also referred to and Kumar also referred to. And I must tell you that a little while ago, I saw a press statement from Congress MP Hussain Dalwai, who said that during the 1992 riots and at difficult times, Mr. Munde was most helpful. So this is a situation where obviously here is a leader who had a Maharashtra-wide approach to his politics, who was a person who built up his reputation, his political reputation by dint of his hard work. He took his message to a vast number of people and in a sense ensured that the narrow sectarian appeal of the BJP, which often seems to be the one that is most recognized by analysts, was shed in Maharashtra. And I think that was a major breakthrough for the BJP, and there's little doubt in my mind that should the BJP Sena combine had come to power under Mr. Munde's leadership, and you will remember that the BJP announced very recently that the Maharashtra campaign would be led by Mr. Munde, a clear recognition that he was the first among the equals as far as the leadership of the BJP in Maharashtra is concerned. Okay. So no doubt a major loss, a body blow to the BJP in the state, and they would obviously have to look to picking up the pieces and move ahead as the October assembly elections approach.
You know, Mr. Jari, if tireless striving and diligence was one aspect of his personality, and everyone has stressed that, another, I suppose, was his honesty and his frankness. I notice on his website, he says of himself, I was an average student, not very bright, not a dullard either. That sort of almost disarming honesty was perfectly characteristic of him.
Yeah, he was very honest and he was very forthright with all those things. Like Mr. Ketkar mentioned, his childhood friend and a relative later on, he married Pramod Mahajan's sister, and they all knew. In fact, I have stayed with Pramod Mahajan and Gopinath Munde in Worli when I was transferred from RSS to the BJP, and he knew that Pramod Mahajan had very good relations with Sharad Pawar, but that did not prevent him from taking on Sharad Pawar and his corruption openly. And people at the time, press media used to ask him, do you have Mr. Pramod Mahajan's permission to say all this? He says, I am the leader, I decide what I want to say. That was his characteristic. And he used to lead. I mean, there are very few people in politics whom we have seen, like a popularity wise, if you say, like Saab Singh Verma of Delhi or Rajesh Pilot. And it's very sad that all the three of them died in a road accident. He was something of a man. He belongs to the people. He would go down to the people and tell them what is good and what is wrong and what is right. Like we had what we call the Mathadi Kamgar fight in Maharashtra, some standing up for their rights. the dock workers union rights. And there was a lot of pressure on us that we should not be standing up for this union, because one of the strongest leader of that union was a communist. He said, no, he may be from the Communist Party, but I think we should support them. And ultimately what happened was that the entire union walked into the BJP. I mean, but he did not say, he did not want that ultimately to happen, but he said we will fight for this. And he brought in all these people within the BJP's purview, number one. Two, the most important thing that people have been mentioning, that from the OBC, he was the first non-Brahmin leader and all that. But we should not forget that like Gopinath Munde and Mahajan and so many other leaders of that time, they were all had one mentor, and he was Vasantrao Bhagwat. Vasantrao Bhagwat was the general secretary of the party in Maharashtra at that time. It was he who spotted all these people and brought all of them on board at the proper time.
Kumar K, we're talking about qualities of the personality of Gopinath Munde. If diligence and hard work was one, if the other was his modesty and his honesty, a third is the fact that he was uniformly liked by practically everyone. I've noticed that he had friends right across all the political parties, whether he was their opponent and whether he actually at times attacked them, from Sharad Pawar, Digvijay Singh to the Thackeray's. And I'm told that he knew practically every worker in his own party by name. That's a unique quality in a politician, isn't it?
Surely, because he could transcend his personal life and political life beyond the parties and beyond individual attributes. And the beauty is, in 1994, when I accompanied him to one of his Sangharsha Yatra, I found that he did not know that he was going to become Deputy Chief Minister. Nobody knew that in 1995 BJP Sena will come to power. But after coming to power, after becoming Deputy Chief Minister, his style was same. It did not, he did not have elitist air at all. He did not have elitist air, which often many congressmen, even many BJP leaders do have that elitist air. And when they acquire power, they start behaving differently. They put on attitude, and kind of behavior change takes place, which never happened in case of Gopinath Munde. He was just as he was when I met him first. He was just when I met him about 3 weeks ago. And even at that time, he was discussing with me. He always discussed with journalists. He was very candid. Sometimes he was so candid that he didn't even realize that he was actually exploding into some major stories. And we had to tell him, but don't say it in front of all 2 or 3 of us are journalists, and don't say so much. He said, I don't care. He was a bohemian. In that sense, he was a little bohemian. He did not care for elitist air. He did not care for the so-called status. He enjoyed being Deputy Chief Minister, but that did not really carried so much weight on his body or on his mind. And I think that was very important.
Now, we were talking, Amit Barua, earlier about how he was the most obvious candidate for the BJP to want to make as Chief Minister whenever or if they come to power. To what extent is the opposite also true? That the BJP he leaves behind in Maharashtra is a party that's not just created by him, but almost created in his image?
Well, I think so. I think, and I think something which Mr. Chari was saying, that there are other second-rung leaders in the BJP here. The Maharashtra President Devendra Fadnavis is one. There are several others also in their ranks. But I think the real issue is that when we are talking about Gopinath Munde, I think the fact that you can invest in your politics and make the effort to reach out and connect with people, whether it's workers or journalists, I think that is something many of the younger leaders across political parties can learn from someone like Mr. Munde, because often what happens is that the disconnect that sets in with power is fatal for your politics. And this is someone, and you can see on your program, from across the spectrum, people are speaking in very glowing terms about him. So obviously here is a man who was able to make a difference, who was able to connect to people, and yet he carried his power easily, because more often than not we've seen that once the trappings of power are in, it's very difficult to get away, and often you lose that political touch because of all the trappings that surround you. And this is something many politicians, and our younger politicians especially across the political spectrum, could take away from somebody like Mr. Munde, because that era of the old politician who could win seats at will, I think that is at a premium. And we have seen time and again that how big stalwarts have fallen because they've lost connect with the people. And I think that is a clear-cut message to the younger leadership of the BJP in Maharashtra and elsewhere, that here is someone who made a difference to his politics and he touched people.
You know, they always say of great politicians that it will be impossible to fill his shoes, it will be possible to replace him. Is that particularly true of Gopinath Munde? Not just because he was a unique person who was diligent and yet modest, hardworking, but also so likable to everyone, but because also he created the party in his image. And the party that he leaves behind is very much a Munde party. How easy will it be to fill the gap that his death leaves behind?
No, it's difficult, especially in a political party which spans over a huge number of years. And when a person has grown with the party and when he has grown the party with him, it's very difficult to replace such a person. It's not very easy because leaders are not born out of laboratories, leaders are not just declared. So you declare someone as so-and-so as the leader, he becomes a leader. No, it doesn't happen like that. He has to be accepted by the masses. Sometimes a leader is accepted by the masses but not his own party. Sometimes the party accepts a leader, the masses reject him. These things keep on happening. But there are very few areas, very few leaders, very few times when the masses and the party coordinate. Like for example, the party projected Mr. Narendra Modi as the prime ministerial candidate, the masses lapped it up.
Munde was another example.
Munde was one such example. And coming from that kind of a background.
As an analyst who understands Maharashtra politics perhaps better than most people I know, Mr. Ketkar, what would you say, looking down the road, are the three big problems the BJP now faces after so tragically and suddenly losing Mr. Munde, and that too just 3 or 4 months before a critical election that they hope to win?
Well, actually, I totally agree with Siddharth. He would have been the chief ministerial candidate whether they announced it or not. And he would have been, actually it was written on the wall that BJP Shiv Sena equations were changing very rapidly after NDA under Modi came to power in Delhi. And therefore BJP would have sought more seats to be fought, and therefore Munde would have been their key person to negotiate as well as key person who would have become their chief ministerial candidate. In fact, I baited with someone that next chief minister in Maharashtra is Gopinath Munde. So that particular kind of a personality who could be projected as chief minister, now they don't have anybody. The second point is he belonged to Marathwada, which is one of the most backward regions of Maharashtra. He comes from a backward region of Maharashtra, Marathwada, which was formerly part of Hyderabad state under Nizam, and therefore he had that connectivity with old world of Nizam, brought in Marathwada, brought in Maharashtra, as well as with Mumbai, because he lived most of the parts recently in Mumbai. So he could connect metropolitan region in his particular mind and body with Marathwada, which was a very backward region. I think that is a very difficult bridge. Those who have lived in Mumbai or Pune, the earlier Jansangh kind of leadership, which was primarily urban, upper caste, educated, whereas Munde was educated, but Munde did not belong to that urban, upper caste, educated image. And therefore, I think that was a bridge between the so-called elitist politics and completely non-elitist politics, and that is a very, very difficult void that BJP can find to fill. There is nobody actually, without making any adverse comment on any other leader. I think it is an extremely difficult challenge for the BJP to replace Gopinath Munde.
Siddharth Bhatia, one of the great challenges that the BJP faces now that Gopinath Munde has so tragically died is their relationship with the Shiv Sena. You were alluding to the fact that how the BJP, having won considerably more seats in the Lok Sabha, that the Shiv Sena wants to change the balance at the state assembly level. Clearly, that's something that Uddhav Thackeray will want to resist. How much more difficult will the handling of the relationship with the Shiv Sena be now that Gopinath Munde isn't there to manage it?
Well, the Shiv Sena has two things that it is standing on. One is that this agreement was made
Oh dear.
20+ years ago, should hold. Can you hear me?
I can. Yes, please carry on. You're back with us.
Yeah. So this agreement was made between Mr. Pramod, ironically, many years ago, and the Shiv Sena has always insisted. Now the BJP says this puts them at that never be able to get more seats than the Shiv Sena. So that is point one. The other point is that the Shiv Sena itself is undergoing a little bit of an internal kind of churn, because they've had to ward off threats from Raj Thackeray. There inside there is some kind of internal, they've done well, but there is still a little bit of inside, shall we say, churn going on about where it stands. Now that would require very delicate handling. Mr. Nitin Gadkari and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray just do not have that relationship. Mr. Munde and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray do have that relationship. So to manage that and to bring it to some equilibrium would have been a very, very delicate task. This time I think the BJP would have insisted, and it might still insist, their man should become the chief minister. The bigger question now is, Karan, after Munde who? There is possibly nobody of that stature apart from Mr. Nitin Gadkari who will be able to convince the Shiv Sena that there should be some kind of more equitable relationship. And if that doesn't work out, you're going to see a major shift in Maharashtra politics, because the alliance may not actually break, but it will undergo a lot of turmoil. So you've really lost a very key kind of person who could not only negotiate, but also convince that he was possibly a far better candidate as a chief minister in the times to come. It's a real, very serious blow. It's a bit like Vilasrao Deshmukh's departure for the Congress.
Okay.
So you had a man who was good with the NCP, but also good with the masses and the leadership.
I don't want to introduce politics into this discussion, because I don't think this is a night or a time for politics, but I want to pick up on that last thought that you heard from Siddharth Bhatia. Not only have you lost the face of the party in Maharashtra, not only have you lost your most popular leader who bridges urban and rural Maharashtra, and the man who actually created the party in his image, but very possibly you've lost the best chance of having your own chief minister. That is another blow that you suffered tonight.
Yeah, I would say that, but Gopinath Munde himself, he never claimed that he should be the chief minister.
He was too modest to ever want to do that.
Even otherwise, last time he was the deputy chief minister. Even at that time, he never said, and he always insisted that look, whatever the party decides and whatever is in the best interest of BJP, Shiv Sena combined should happen. And that is what he would always say. But as far as these negotiations are concerned, let me tell you, Munde always insisted that there should never be a one-to-one negotiation. We will always go as a team. So he built a team, and that team still exists in Maharashtra, and I think that team will work.
Absolutely. The team is the team, but the face of the team is gone.
Face is gone.
And in a very real sense, like they asked that question after Nehru who, you could ask that question of the BJP in
After
Maharashtra
Munde
today.
who in Maharashtra?
After Munde
That
who.
is a very big question that we have to face.
And in a sense, that question also sums up how important the man was.
Absolutely.
When a big man goes and you don't have an obvious successor, it simply underlines how big he was, how huge his impact
It
was.
always happens with all such people. True.
Thank you very much for joining me today on what is clearly a very sad day. My thanks also to my other guests. And we end this particular program there. Goodbye.